Y'all, it's Thursday, technically, March 14th, 2024, and we have another episode of the 214 Sports Show, Everything Dallas Sports, right here every Thursday at 9 a.m. We got Courtney you see Courtney on the screen, you see Joe on the screen as well, also me, TJ, the usual host for this show, as always, every week. We got a lot to discuss, I guess. Perchance the Cowboys. We have a lot to discuss about them not doing anything, and of course we could talk a little bit about the Mavericks and their inconsistency, winning games and then going to lose games and then winning games, and they're all just a mess right now as well. There's some messy stuff in Dallas sports right now, but we're here to talk about it, and we're here to give some of our thoughts about it. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Just had a real nice juicy nap. The fellows woke me up, and I'm ready to go on this fine afternoon to record the pod on a spring break, of course. Hope y'all having a good spring break, but it's been a nice start to spring break so far. I'm enjoying it.
Okay, Courtney's frozen.
Bro, what?
Licking his lips.
Yo.
Oh, now he's frozen.
Yeah, now he's frozen. All right. Well, you know what? While he fixes that, I'll go with on today's date real quick, just so we can get this episode moving. So on today's date, by the way, we have on March 14th, 2024.
Courtney is right.
Hey, Courtney's back.
Bro, it's like two. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if this is even recording. I swear UT Austin is trying to kick me out this dorm right now, bro. Like, they're setting me up, bro. Like, yesterday, I swear my water went off for 2 hours. 2 hours, bro. Like, they say they want you here for spring break, but they don't really want you here.
Yeah, the test subject.
And now today, bro, my Wi-Fi is trash. I've never get kicked out ever when we're on the podcast, but today my Wi-Fi is just garbage, bro. I don't know what it is. I swear UT is setting us up. The Department of Education needs to look into this, bro.
$70 million in the bank of that university, and they can't get some solid Wi-Fi. It's pathetic, man. Pathetic. All right, on today's date, March 14th, 2016, the Dallas Mavericks end the Charlotte Hornets 7-game win streak, and they also end their own 5-game losing skid with a win in Charlotte by a final score of 107-96. This was actually a very solid win. The Hornets were good this year. They were 25-10 at home this year, while the Mavs were sitting at 500, 33-33 on the season. The top scorer was the Crook, Chandler Parsons, with a clean 24 points and 9 rebounds. Dirk was right behind him with 23. And Darren Williams also had a 15. The Hornets had a sloppy game with a lot of missed free throws and 15 turnovers, but their leading scorers were Kemba Walker at 25, Nick Batum with 20, and Mark Williams, if you remember that name, with 19.
Man, man, you didn't have to go there calling him a crook. Wow. I mean, that's a way to start.
Those are your words. Those are your words. If you don't remember that, that's what you call them.
Hey, man. Hey, man. I don't know what we're talking about here. I respect Chandler Parsons' sacrifice for Dallas sports. He tried his best. I respect that, man.
He did, man. And I hope he's doing good in retirement now. I know he had a very unfortunate injury after his retirement, and I hope that he's doing good. But he did steal a lot of money from this franchise. Anyways.
Ooh, backhand. Ooh.
But no, for it, like real genuine, I hope he's doing good. Like real genuine. Anyways, so trivia. I got some trivia. This is actually going to be a really fun trivia that I want to do, all right? So, there might be a specific city that just joined the ranks of this elite group, all right? We got 8 cities right now, 8 U.S. cities with a championship in the 4 major sports leagues. So the NHL, NBA, NFL, and MLB. There's 8 cities, all right? There's some obvious ones. There's some surprising ones. All right, can you name all 8? All right.
Okay. Well,
can we just go?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're doing this. Okay, so obviously Dallas, New York,
Dallas,
and LA.
Yep. The newest one. Just
Boston for sure. Boston
for sure.
Dallas, New York, Boston.
LA.
Gotta be LA.
Yep. There's 4. All flying.
I mean, those are the obvious 4. Trying to think of other big cities.
Philadelphia.
Chicago.
Philadelphia. There we go. All right. We got 5. What did you say, Courtney? Chicago. Hey, we got 6 now already.
Chicago.
2 more. I'm trying to remember what the 2 other ones are now.
You don't have it up?
No, I know. Okay, no. I know which ones they are. All right.
He did say surprises, so I'm assuming it's going to be.
There are little surprises. There is one that I don't expect y'all to get, honestly. But there is another one that I think y'all could.
Who's a hockey town that we just don't know is a hockey town? Maybe that's what we have to think about.
Y'all just let me know. Y'all need a clue.
Nah. I feel like I can get this.
Let's go Miami, because they have if you want to count the Florida Panthers.
The Miami's not one of the cities. Florida Panthers have not won a championship yet.
I thought they have.
Kraken haven't won a championship yet, right?
They just can't. No way.
In their third year.
I mean, the Vegas did. So
Vegas did.
No way we're counting Vegas as a.
Vegas is not.
We count them as the A's.
They haven't got the A's yet. They haven't got the A's.
Not counting the A's yet, and they don't have an NBA team.
The Aces.
Yeah. No. The Aces, yeah.
2 teams that we're not thinking of. 2 teams.
2 cities.
2 cities.
The Bay.
Oakland. See, I was thinking the Bay too, but nope. It is not the Bay. They don't have a hockey team. It would be San Jose, but technically that's a different metroplex. They don't count it with the Sharks.
We already said LA. Are we going out of California now, maybe?
We're going out of California. No California cities anymore. Y'all named it. Los Angeles was the only one.
Oh, is it Minneapolis?
No, not Minneapolis. Either the Timberwolves have one. Nor have the Wild. Nor do the North Stars.
No one has.
Yeah, no one really has the Minnesota. No, has the Twins since like 1920s.
Well, I would have said Cleveland, but
the Twins are in the 90s. Sorry,
they don't have a team.
Cleveland does not have a hockey team.
Oh, Detroit. That's one.
Detroit is one that I'm not counting because the Lions have not won a Super Bowl. They've only won the championships before the Super Bowl. So I didn't count Detroit. All right, Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Houston. Yeah, I was going to say Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Houston technically are in this rank, but Pittsburgh, they only won an ABA championship in 1968, and Houston won a couple of championships with the WHA. I believe is the World Hockey Association. I have no clue.
WHA, bro.
Yeah, but we're not counting this since it wasn't NHL. We're not counting Pittsburgh because it wasn't NBA.
This is a tough one.
All right, the clue. One of the clues, all right?
Is it Washington?
One of the cities, they won an NBA championship, but they don't have the team anymore.
Oh. They won an NBA championship, but they don't have the team anymore.
Seattle.
No. He said
nope.
Oh wait, I already said no. My fault, bro.
Good guess, though. Honestly,
they won the championship.
I
would have said Kansas City, but Kansas City doesn't have a hockey team.
The city's close to Kansas City.
Oh, St. Louis? No, St. Louis? Does that count? St. Louis because the Blues. The Blues, and then, of course, the St. Louis Hawks, and now Atlanta Cardinals, and then the Rams. Okay. Yep. Everybody's leaving St. Louis.
Now I just got one more, and they were the ones, they were added just before Dallas. They were added in 2019 in this
Washington?
rank. Washington, D.C. You got it. The 8th seed.
Washington, the Nationals. All right, bet.
There you go. All right, you got all 8. So Dallas, New York, Los Angeles, Boston, Chicago, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and then Washington, D.C. Pretty solid list.
Yeah.
When did the Wizards win the championship?
The Wizards won the Bullets.
The Bullets.
Elgin Baylor. Yeah.
What y'all know
about I don't know if it was
Wes Unseld.
Maybe it was Wes Unseld, yeah.
Wes Unseld.
Crazy ass afro, bro.
What y'all know about Wes Unseld? He used to throw the ball from the other side of the court like a quarterback.
So that dude's, I was just thinking about that. I was like, well, all of our teams have won a championship now. What other cities have? And those are the 7 other cities. We've joined the elite group. Houston does not count, all right? Houston does not count. Anyways, let's get into the main talk of this podcast. We're going to start off with the Dallas Cowboys just because obviously they just started free agency. And, do we even say that the Cowboys started free agency? Do we even say that they started it? Do they know that free agency started?
They re-signed the long snapper.
They did re-sign the long snapper, but they're just toying with this at this point. Like, Jerry knows what he's doing, man. Come on. I guess it's Steven Jones now.
It's Steven,
I don't even know,
it's
man.
Steven.
But, so you got 31 teams who made a move on day one of the NFL free agency. Only one team didn't, and that is the Dallas Stars. Not the Dallas Stars. Sorry, the Dallas Cowboys. The logo is the star. And very, very weird. I talked about this before. The Cowboys are a premier marketed team in their league. You look at the other leagues like the Lakers and Yankees, and they're not scared to put money out. They're not scared to chase after the big names and be aggressive, trade players and stuff. But the Cowboys, they don't do any of that. In fact, they're very, very conservative, very, very weird for a big market team to be like this. What are your thoughts about this?
Not surprised, honestly. If we look at the cap, we're bottom third in the league, so we already don't have a crazy amount of money. And I also don't want to act like our offense is somehow, has a lot of holes. We still have the guy who was second in MVP voting as our QB. We have CeeDee Lamb. I get that, but now you have Tony Pollard that's gone. We're about to have someone fighting for RB1. We just saw that Zach Moss, who was going to be, a Cowboy, I believe, I think he turned it down, and they lost connection after a while. We thought we were getting Zach Moss. I was praying that we get Derrick Henry, and deep down I knew. That was not happening. Y'all know that ain't it.
Yeah.
But he went to Baltimore. Again, just not surprised with this team. Same old offseason. We don't get anybody big. It just sucks because I wish we could really up this defensive line, especially that was getting torn apart by the running game of the Packers. I was loving that if we get like Christian Wilkins or something like that from Miami. I'm trying to figure out where he signed. Where did Christian Wilkins sign?
They pretty much lost everybody. You see,
he went to the Raiders. He went to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Bro, like
$10 million, bro.
We couldn't even get a 28-year-old D tackle who happens to be a pretty good DT in the league. Just really sucks. We can't get a run stopper at all. I know we don't really need a linebacker. I wouldn't have minded, giving some money maybe to Patrick Queen, maybe possibly. I just don't understand why. Why do we never take the chances? Why are we never the team, that wants to put our foot in the water all the way instead of just dipping your toe in? Why can't we just be the team that has risk takers? And it seems like it's just the culture of the team. We saw Dalton Schultz a few days ago, doing what all former Cowboys do. And they talk a little bit about how messed up the culture is compared to the team they're going to. You saw it with Cole Beasley.
Yeah.
Now you see it here with Dalton Schultz. And a part that really bugged me is him talking about how the players are treated like, they're pets in the zoo. And how, they have tourists walking around touring the Star in Frisco. And they're looking at it. It's a nice place. I'm not going to lie. I've never taken a tour there. We did graduate.
That's crazy.
We did. Yeah, Courtney, you graduated probably in the old stadium, didn't you?
Yeah, didn't you graduate?
I was a year after that. Unfortunately, they went back to the regular spot. But my brother graduated at the new stadium. The new.
Okay. Where did you go? You graduated the old stadium?
Some random performance art center in my district.
Oh.
Unfortunately, they didn't keep the contract. Too expensive.
Well. When we graduated at the Star, it's a nice place. It is. But the part that bugged me was when he was saying people are walking around and they're looking at them like, they're like an exhibit in a zoo as they're lifting, try to put work in for the team. And he's saying in Houston, I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's, strictly about football. And you see this every single time. It's strictly about football. Wherever I'm at now, that's not the Dallas Cowboys. So I don't know what it's going to take for this team to go back to being strictly about football. It just seems like it's always working against us, especially in times like this. Guys they want to get paid, but they do want, have guys that are, only thinking about football and not always thinking about, marketing themselves and not always trying to, be this next big star in media. Sometimes they just want to play football and not have all that extra attention and all the eyes looking at them. So I don't know what it's going to take. It's just very disappointing to see this yet again, in an off season.
Yeah, I mean, the main issue is I don't remember where I saw this, but I feel like the disconnect is that it feels like Jerry and Steven want people to come play for the Cowboys. They don't want to go seek people to play for the Cowboys. That's pretty much the issue. I mean, I think they think they are in upper echelon of like a Yankee or a Lakers or like those high premier, like the Knicks, like those teams that have that legacy and that lineage where people want to come play for the team. But I feel like in football, it's just like the only people that are really gonna do that are if you're winning right now. So like the Kansas City, like people are gonna want to go and contact Kansas City to see if you can get them. But I mean, with recent Dallas playoff success, I mean, there's no reason to try to put that star on, honestly, unless you're from here at this point. I mean, it hasn't lost its mystique per se. I mean, obviously, they're the most valuable franchise in the world, but it's just I don't know. I just feel like less and less people just don't want to come here as often as we do. They got to search for like the little pieces that were left behind, like the 4-year-olds or whatever. And I don't know. I feel like originally I knew they weren't gonna make any moves, and I was fine with it. But once I see the Commanders, they pick up like Jeremy Chin, Austin Eckler, whoever else they got Doris Armstrong. Like basically picked like 3
It's gonna
Cowboy
be a big
players.
loss, I think.
Tyler Biadasz, I think they picked up 2. The
That's
Giants,
not gonna
they
be a
picked
big
up.
loss.
The Giants picked up Brian Burns. Obviously, we all know what the Eagles did. They picked up Saquon. Yeah. So it's just like when you see those 3 teams making those big moves, we don't know how Dan Quinn's going to coach that Commanders team. We don't know how Dayball's going to come back from losing Saquon all his pieces. Obviously, the Eagles had such a crazy offseason. We don't know how they're going to come back either. But right now, it's just looking like the totem pole of the NFC East is shifting behind our very eyes. And like Joe said, even though we do have number 2 and MVP, whoever Dak ended up, and we still had CeeDee Lamb, who I feel like played like a top 3 receiver in football, they lost everybody, and all they signed was a long snapper. It's
a joke.
It's a
joke. It's a joke. They're toying with us.
It's a cruel
joke.
Sure.
I mean, I actually do like that you talked about the Knicks. You mentioned the Knicks because I think the Cowboys are very, very, very much like the Knicks in a sense that they just, and if you don't remember, that's what Kevin Durant said whenever he joined the Nets, the team across the river or whatever, and saying, that somebody asked him why he didn't join the Knicks, and he said, well, I grew up in a generation where it's not cool to be a New York Knick, where it hasn't been cool. They haven't been good. They've been making bad decisions forever. And that's what the Cowboys are in right now. They're supposed to be this Premier League team. People are supposed to be wanting to play for them. They're playing in amazing stadiums, just like Madison Square Garden. They play they have that amazing image, the name and likeliness of their logo, of their team, of their colors, and you just can't get anybody to come. You can't. But I mean, I just wish that this next man up thing just hasn't been working. Obviously, we all know that this is kind of how the Cowboys have had the approach to free agency every single year, except for maybe last year. They were a little aggressive last year. They got some good important pieces that we didn't really perfectly utilize this season. But I mean, you look at what the Rangers. This kind of reminds me of the Rangers, just because of how the Rangers were always so cheap every offseason. They would let all their players go. And they would just sign people, they would sign pitchers that just had Tommy John surgery a couple months ago and batters that have, been in the minors for a couple years and just be like, you're on the opening day lineup. You're a starting pitcher. And, they finally changed their approach. They finally started saying, you know what, we'll give some money to the team. We'll play, we'll pay some players. We'll try to be competitive in the free agency market. And look what it got them. It got them a championship. I think they could be a lot like their neighbors for sure. I do like, the offense. The offense is still going to be good. I just think that, what are we going to do? Replace, Gallup is an interesting one. I think it is with his contract. You can kind of reconstructure it or let him go and try to save some of that money. He hasn't been a huge impact. And also just losing Tyron Smith is kind of going to be sad. You don't want to pay out for a guy who's probably going to play 5 games a year, which is unfortunate because those 5 games are going to be really productive by him. But it's just tough to give him that big money with his injury issues. I don't know how, the best running backs on the market. I believe probably the best running back on the market right now would be A.J. Dillon. And I don't know if he's gone now at this point. Free agency's been moving really fast recently. But You can't even be excited about the running back market now. I don't know what they expect Deuce Vaughn and Rico Dowdle to do right now. I guess we have to go through the draft, which will be interesting. But I am very pessimistic about this team right now. I'm very pessimistic. You talk about the NFC East division leader, curse of 20 years now. We're already scheduled not to win the division next year just because of that curse. And not to mention now that all the other teams, like Courtney said, got better in our division. The Giants, maybe. They did lose Saquon, but they did add Brian Burns. And, while the Cowboys are just sitting on their ass, not doing anything, probably just, going on a yacht. I don't know if you guys saw the mannequin challenge. People have been posting that saying this.
No, the Cowboys signed it. The Cowboys signed nobody.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, that graphic too. We're great. It's at least we can laugh together about this team and their.
We're laughing in pain, TJ. We're laughing in pain.
We're laughing in pain, and it's like, at least we can laugh at them together. As long as it's a Cowboys fan, if any other team tries to talk shit about the Cowboys, any other fan, it's over, man. I'm sending them.
Bro, I've been nothing but supportive.
Now deep down, he's like, same old Cowboys.
There is 6 teams that didn't sign no one in day one, and my team was one of them, bro. I'm pissed. The Saints are doing the same thing. They're basically doing Cowboys light.
I thought y'all were about to get Russell Wilson, bro. I thought y'all were about to get.
He went to Pittsburgh.
Oh boy, just come on.
Whatever he's gonna do in Pittsburgh.
New Orleans, what are we doing?
I don't know, man. Pittsburgh might actually they might actually have a squad, though. I'm not going to lie.
Beignets, bro. That's all they do is eating beignets, bro. They don't actually do anything.
Damn, man.
Wow.
So, anyways, that's really it. We'll hopefully have a signing to talk about next week for the Cowboys. We'll see, but more than likely what this team's going to do is lose a bunch of important players, say that they like their guys next man up and all that, and then somehow it'll work for a little bit in the regular season and it'll eventually collapse later into the season. We've all seen this script every single year. But anyways, let's move on to the teams that are actually in season, the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks, they're a very interesting team right now. They're on their high right now. They're on a very good high. They've won the last 2 games now. They won the last 3 games, correct?
Yep, 3 games.
Last 3 games, the Bulls, Detroit. I can't remember who it was before then, but I know they won. Miami, thank you. And so, they got their highs, but they do have a lot of streak stars coming after losing 5 of the last 6 games and then winning 7 games in a row. And so, I know we talk a lot about Jason Kidd on this show, and a lot of it is not positive. And so I want to ask y'all, do y'all think that he's on the hot seat? Where are y'all at with Jason Kidd right now? I know we've said a lot of things about him, but where are y'all at today with Jason Kidd?
I'm not letting him off that hot seat one bit. Nico, keep applying that pressure. I still believe that he is still on this hot seat for sure. You won 3 straight, but what are you going to do now in this next 3 games? Golden State? I know Curry's not going to play, I believe, on this next game because Curry said he's still dealing with the injury, but you're going to have number 1 team in the West, OKC, right after that Golden State game. They're going to have Denver right on Sunday on ABC at 2:30. What are you going to do in these next 3 games? Because if they lose 2 of 3 of these games, I think the pressure is right back being on. And, you see this team, they've been like this all year. They'll win a few games, and then they'll lose like the next 3 or 4 games, and then they'll win 2, and then they'll drop like the next 2 out of 3. And so I want this team just to be more consistent. We've talked about this all season long, but glad to see this front court playing better. Luka's been masterful as always, getting more triple-doubles game after game. I wish he had more respect in the MVP ladder, but we see how this league is with that, especially if you're like a play-in seed or a 6 seed. They just don't really care that much, but we're seeing how valuable he is and impactful he is for this team. I just wish he got more respect in MVP ladder, but as far as Jason Kidd, I don't think it really has moved at all. If he wants to keep his job, I think they need to finish at least, let me see how many games are left. We don't have that many left. I think he needs to win at least 80% of these last few games, and then at least make it past the second round. Because man, I know this team.
I kind of agree with you just because of last year.
Yeah, just because
we
last
got
year.
17 games left. 17 games left.
17 games left. So if he can win at least a good chunk, maybe like 11 or 12 of these games, and then, make it past the second round, I think his job will be secure. But if he doesn't even make the play-in like we saw last year, I'm not hopeful for his job at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say this week was hard to watch a lot of Mavericks footage. Stuff was moving around. So I have been a box score scanner this week. Saw some highlights. But mostly a box score scanner. But what I do
that
see,
score looked nice against Chicago, though, right?
It looked amazing. I mean, and Detroit, they scored 142 points. But one thing I will say from my followings on Mavericks Twitter and Mavericks Instagram, us at 214 don't, support any of these views or anything, but I did see people calling Jason Kidd, a terrorist, a cancer,
I think we called him a terrorist on this show before.
Terrorist, that's the next big thing. That's the next big thing, bro. Call people terrorists.
There is one, they're also calling him a certain German man. It's a lot of things that people call Jason Kidd on Twitter. I was wondering why. I did some research, and I see he's really not learning from his lesson. There's a lot of Luka ball still happening this week. Obviously, like Joe said, he should be more respected than MVP ladder. It's a shame that he isn't. But I mean, it's just kind of like his hot seat. It hasn't moved. If anything, I feel like it should be getting hotter because I mean, like Joe said, like he's next. We face the Thunder. Which I don't know. Did Thunder drop in seeding, or are they still?
No, they're at the highest peak right I believe. I think they're first. Yeah,
I think they're first in the conference now.
And obviously, Nuggets
has been sliding.
Former NBA champions. So I mean, like they gotta win at least one of those two games. If they don't win one of those two games, I mean, we know where the season's going. I feel like we really won't know. I know the Mavericks will make the playoffs. If they don't, just get rid of him the day of. But I mean, I think he knows that the seat is getting hotter. For some reason, he keeps doing this small ball lineup, which I don't really get. I don't know if we're gonna talk about it, but like you put in the outline, Gafford has not missed a shot in a very long time, and I mean,
28 in a row.
It makes sense because he gets no freaking minutes. So it's just like I don't know, bro. I just feel like there still needs to be a change, and I don't think it's gonna happen until, like Joe said, Nico puts the button on him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Definitely. Okay, Joe with the 80% going to the second round.
No, that was oddly specific.
Pretty crazy, but honestly, he should have some high expectations after last year. If you look at the schedule in March and April and February after the All-Star break last year, after acquiring Kyrie Irving, it looks like we actually lost 80% of the games in that month, in those few months. Like we lost probably 80% of those games. So flipping that would be a huge turnover from what last year was ending the season. But I mean, it's tough. It's tough to say because I think in the end, it really just comes down to Luka. And I've said this before, but Luka, he's going into his 7th year after this year, and you really don't want to have him have 3 head coaches in his first 7 years. It just doesn't give, it doesn't help you build a proper relationship with the organization. A lot of players don't really play for the organization. They play for the coach. And so, I mean, I don't know. If he still likes Jason Kidd, then it's like, damn it, you got to keep him. I mean, you can't let him go if Luka's not on, the fire Jason Kidd train. If you're going to keep Jason Kidd train, you got to keep him, unfortunately. I mean, you look at some of this stuff, I mean, I don't understand why you would like him other than, personal relationship, obviously. I'm not going to put that out of the equation, but, the Mavs went 3-3 when he went for 6 straight 30-point triple-doubles. They went 3-3. 30-point triple-doubles are a luxury. You should win all the time when you're having a player do something like that because that just shows that he's on the top of his game, and if your leader's on the top of his game, then the team should be at the top of its game. And they're playing 3-3 ball. They're playing 500 ball with him doing that. Another thing is that this guy's supposed to be a defensive coach. Their defensive rating is the worst since February. It's a big turnaround. They were top 5 in defensive rating on their winning streak. After that, they have been ranked dead last in the NBA defensive rating. So it's just interesting. I don't know. It's tough, man. We really do have to see how the rest of the season goes. This next 3 games are going to be very, very important. We have to win 2 out of 3. I agree with you completely. Because this team does struggle a little bit with those top seeds. We don't beat the top seeds. You look at Milwaukee and Boston and all the top seeds, Cleveland. We went 0-2 against Boston, Cleveland, and Milwaukee, the top 3 seeds in the East. We also have not beat the Nuggets this year. I believe we've played them twice. We've gone 0-2 against them. We've gone, I believe, 1-3 against Minnesota, and I think we're 1-1 against Oklahoma City. And we also, I think we're 1-2 against Los Angeles, the Clippers. And so, I mean, you're looking at this, and it's just like we don't really beat those top teams, you know. And I know that they're the top team for a reason, but we need to start beating. We need to start looking better when we're playing these teams if we want to actually look like a contender. So right now we're still just the 8th seed. We're still a playing team. So even though we have all these historic streaks, Luka's going on his most magical season ever, which is hard to believe. He's going on some crazy historical streaks with those 30-point triple-doubles. Gafford is setting NBA records with his consecutive field goals. And we're still playing 500 ball. So I don't know, man. Anyways, that's going to be it for the Mavericks, though. By the time this is posted, we'll see the results of the Warriors game. Hopefully it's a win. We did hear that Steph Curry's probably going to be out for that game. The Warriors have not looked good without Curry this year. But anyways, I'm just going to talk about the Stars real quick. I'm going to the game tonight against the Florida Panthers, the best team in NHL right now. I cannot wait. It should be a very good game. I'm probably going to be a little late to it, but it's all right. I don't care too much as long as I get a good show from the Dallas Stars. But, you know, this is a tough game for sure. But they've been playing some easy games. They had a pretty easy schedule going into their California series. They played 3 games in California and got 6 points out of that. Crazy comeback against San Jose, down 6-3 with about 15 minutes left in the third period. Came back third period. Came back and won that game in overtime. This team's looking really good. Chris Tanev now on the roster is also 3-0. I don't want to jinx anything, obviously, because by the time that this episode is published, they will play Florida, and who knows, they might lose like 4-0. But I do want to say that right now. Sorry?
Like, just for this game, like, what are you expecting to see?
I don't know, man. Well, what I really do expect to see is I really want to see. I'm really going to be looking at Chris Tanev because I haven't watched them a lot. Obviously, I watch hockey, but I watch mostly the Stars. I haven't really seen Chris Tanev that much, in action. So I want to see him because the Florida Panthers right now, huge offensive team, man. Matthew Tkachuk obviously is just one of the premier players in the league. Really helped them elevate their team to the Stanley Cup Finals last year. And Sam Reinhart, man, I believe he's second in the league in goals right now, and he's just had a huge increase in production this year for the Panthers. I mean, they're looking pretty solid. I don't know how their trade deadline acquisitions are going right now, but they're looking very strong. Ever since the trade deadline, they have been very good. So, if the Stars can stop them, man, that they're right there with them. They're right there at the top of the league with the Panthers, with the Bruins, with the Canucks. If they can do this for sure, if they can keep it competitive, I'm gonna say right here, Stars win in overtime. Who's gonna get that game-winning goal? I'll go Hintz. Hintz gets the game-winning goal against Florida tonight in overtime, 3-2. But yeah, that's really it about the Stars too. I'm trying to keep this episode a little bit short, so I have to the game. But I do want to mention Mike Modano is getting his jersey retired on Saturday.
Bro, just now? Are you serious?
I guess not his jersey, but he's getting his statue. I'm sorry, I messed up there. He's getting his statue. It's going to be paired up with Dirk Nowitzki outside of the American Airlines Center before they eventually move to their Las Colinas Stadium down the road.
Is that already confirmed now? Is that already confirmed?
Well, they bought land. It's not confirmed until I think Texas legalized gambling. Texas has to legalize gambling. So, I mean, Mark Cuban and that, the Las Vegas new owner is going to put in a shit ton of money to,
Mark.
Try to propose the idea of legalizing gambling.
I'll be there. I don't like it, but I'll be there.
There's going to be a lot of people there. I'll tell you that.
I got nothing against gambling, but I love that arena, bro. I love
Yeah,
that.
And if Prize Picks wasn't like technically cheap, man, there would be a lot of lives ruined in college right now. I'll tell you that. Man. A lot of lives would be ruined right now. But yeah, that's really it. Just gotta give my get some flowers to Mike Madonna, man. He was a great player back in his time, leader, I believe he was the captain for the team, the 1999 Stanley Cup final run. So very exciting to see him. Him and Dirk have a good relationship. Good to see them have be both immortalized together in front of the stadium. Two Dallas legends, definitely two Dallas legends that will be in the Dallas Mount Rushmore. Maybe we'll ask that next episode. Who's on your Dallas athlete Mount Rushmore? But I would say those two are definitely a lock. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's episode, actually. Thank you guys for tuning in, as always. You guys want to do your socials?
No problem, TJ. Instagram and Twitter, now known as X. You can follow me on that at Joseph_Duffy99. Again, at Joseph_Duffy99. I'm on Instagram and Twitter.
I just want to say real quick before I say my socials, the Saints just signed Willie Gay Jr., so I think we're primed for a playoff run.
That was so back.
They're coming after the Falcons.
People
thought the Falcons were a rock for that division? Hell no.
Hell no. Willie Gay Jr. is going to change it, man. I'm gay, man.
He's picking off Kirk Cousins at least three. At least three times in the two matchups.
I'm happy, Joe. I'm happy. Don't do that. My Instagram is clivesdalife, and my Twitter is C_Machani.
It's another player that the Cowboys going to sign. You can follow me on Instagram at tj.krillowitz. On Twitter, it'll be tj_Krillowitz, now known as X. You can also follow the 214 Sports Show on all these platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We will be there. You can follow us at 214 Sports Show. And then also on YouTube, you can find us at the 214 Sports Show. Also on Spotify, that's where we post our episodes on YouTube and Spotify. On Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, we'll be posting some of our analysis and stuff like that if you want to get some extra content from us and extra Dallas sports news. But anyways, that'll be it, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your spring break. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys next Thursday. Peace out.